Hello students, in Science 1, let us study Chapter 14, Substances in Common Use. What are salts? The ionic compounds which do not contain H plus, that is hydrogen ion, and OH minus, that is hydroxyl ion, and contains only one kind of cation and anion are called simple salts. For example, sodium sulfate Na2SO4, potassium phosphate K3PO4, and calcium chloride CaCl2. The sea is said to be a rich source of salts. Inorganic substances occur naturally in the form of salts rather than acids or bases. About 80 million tons of salts are added every year to seawater. Therefore, the sea is said to be a rich source of salts. In fact, the sea is a rich source of several salts of various elements such as chlorine, sodium, magnesium, potassium, calcium, and bromine. The important salts found in seawater are sodium chloride NaCl, magnesium chloride MgCl2, magnesium sulfate MgSO4, potassium chloride KCl, calcium carbonate CaCO3, and magnesium bromide MgBr2. What is the strip shown called? What is it used for? The indicator paper strip shown is made from universal indicator. It is used to determine the pH of a solution. How is it determined whether a substance is acidic, basic, or neutral? When a few drops of universal indicator is added to an aqueous solution, the specific color obtained matches with the color on the indicator paper strip. This determines the pH of the solution. The pH indicator strip, which shows pH 1 to 6 having various colors, indicates the substances which are acidic in nature. If the pH strip is green in color, the pH of that solution is 7 and it is neutral. And if the pH indicator strip shows pH 8 to 14 having various colors as shown, indicates the solution is alkaline in nature. A salt is neutral when its pH value is 7. Such a salt is made from a strong acid and a strong base. The pH value of a salt made from a strong acid and a weak base is less than 7 and it is acidic. On the other hand, the pH value of a salt made from a weak acid and strong base is more than 7 and it is basic. Sodium chloride, also known as table salt, molecular formula NaCl. Table salt or common salt, which gives us a salty taste to food, is the most used of all salts. Its chemical name is sodium chloride. Sodium chloride is formed by a neutralization reaction between sodium hydroxide NaOH, which is the base, and hydrochloric acid. It is a neutral salt and the pH value of its aqueous solution is 7. Properties and uses of sodium chloride. Common salt is a colorless and crystalline ionic compound. There is no water of crystallization in its crystalline structure. A fixed number of water molecules present in a crystalline structure is called water of crystallization. Common salt is a neutral salt, salty in taste. This compound is used for the production of salts like sodium carbonate Na2CO3 and sodium bicarbonate NaHCO3. When an electric current is passed through a saturated solution of sodium chloride, that is brine, it is electrolyzed and hydrogen gas is released at the cathode while chlorine gas is released at the anode. This method is used for production of chlorine gas. In this method, an important basic compound, sodium hydroxide NaOH, is formed in the cell. The chemical equation of this reaction is 2NaCl plus 2H2O gives 2NaOH plus Cl2 plus H2, which is released. When salt is heated to a high temperature, about 800 degrees Celsius, it melts. This is called the fused state or the molten state of the salt. When fused salt is electrolyzed, chlorine gas is released at the anode and liquid sodium metal at the cathode. Rock salt. Salt is also obtained from a certain type of rock. This salt is called rock salt. The mineral halite and Himalayan rock salt are some examples of rock salt. This salt is used to treat many diseases. The 25% aqueous solution of salt is called saturated brine. When 1/5 of the solution is evaporated, the dissolved salt gets crystallized and salt gets separated from the solution. Sodium bicarbonate, also known as baking soda, molecular formula NaHCO3. Baking soda is a white non-crystalline powder. Its chemical name is sodium hydrogen carbonate or sodium bicarbonate, and its molecular formula is NaHCO3. Properties and uses. Sodium bicarbonate reacts with moist litmus paper and red litmus turns blue, which means that it is basic in nature. It is used to make bread, cake and dokla. Being basic in nature, it is used to reduce acidity in the stomach. Sodium bicarbonate is used to make the active substance carbon dioxide in the fire extinguisher. Baking soda is used to clean an oven. Baking powder. What are the constituents of baking powder? Where is baking powder used? Baking powder contains around 30% sodium bicarbonate, 5 to 12% monocalcium phosphate, which is the buffering agent, and 21 to 26% sodium aluminum sulfate or tartaric acid is used, which is the acid salt. Baking powder is a white powder used as a chemical leavening agent in baked goods such as bread, cakes, cookies, biscuits. Bleaching powder, calcium oxychloride, molecular formula CaOCl2. Tap water has a typical strong odor in the rainy season. Water in a swimming pool also has the same odor. It is the odor of the chlorine gas used to destroy the microbes in the water. Chlorine gas is a strong oxidizing agent and therefore it has a strong disinfecting as well as bleaching action. Chlorine is inconvenient to handle because of its gaseous state. Instead, the solid bleaching powder, which has the same effect, is more convenient to use. Bleaching powder undergoes slow decomposition due to the carbon dioxide in air and chlorine gas is released. Bleaching powder gets its property because of this release of chlorine gas. CaOCl2 plus CO2 gives CaCO3 plus Cl2, where CaCO3 is calcium carbonate. Bleaching powder is obtained by the reaction of chlorine gas with slaked lime, that is calcium hydroxide. Calcium hydroxide CaOH2 plus Cl2 gives CaOCl2 plus H2O. Properties and uses of bleaching powder. Bleaching powder is a yellowish white colored solid substance. Its chemical name is calcium oxychloride. It has a strong odor of chlorine gas. It is used for disinfection, that is cleaning of drinking water at the waterworks and the water in the swimming pool. It is used for bleaching, that is whitening of cloth. It is used for disinfection by the roadside and garbage sites. Dilute sulfuric acid and dilute hydrochloric acid react rapidly with bleaching powder to release chlorine gas completely. The chemical equation for this reaction is CaOCl2 plus H2SO4 gives CaSO4, that is calcium sulfate, plus chlorine Cl2 plus H2O. The reaction of bleaching powder with dilute hydrochloric acid CaOCl2 plus 2HCl gives CaCl2, that is calcium chloride, plus Cl2 plus H2O. Calcium oxychloride reacts slowly with carbon dioxide to form calcium carbonate and chlorine. Let us study the property of washing soda, that is Na2CO3.H2O, through the following experiment. Procedure: Step 1. Take a sample of water from a well or bore-well. Step 2. In a beaker, add some soap to it and stir. Step 3. Take another sample and add 1 spoonful of washing soda and stir. And step 4. Add some soap and stir again. Observe the changes. The hard water from a well or a bore well becomes soft on adding washing soda, and we come to know this from the lather formed on it. The hardness of water is due to the presence of chlorides and sulfates of calcium and magnesium in it. Sodium carbonate is added to it to soften such water and make it suitable for use. The reaction with sodium carbonate causes the formation of insoluble carbonate salts of magnesium and calcium. The chemical equation for this reaction is MgCl2 magnesium chloride aqueous plus sodium carbonate solid gives magnesium carbonate solid plus 2NaCl, that is sodium chloride solid. Sodium carbonate is a water-soluble salt of sodium. Crystalline sodium carbonate, on keeping, loses its water crystallization readily and a white powder is obtained. This powder is called washing soda. The chemical equation for this reaction is Na2CO3.10H2O, on losing its water of crystallization, gives Na2CO3.H2O, which is monohydrated sodium carbonate, which is a white powder and called washing soda. Properties and uses of washing soda. Washing soda is a whitish and odorless powder at room temperature. Litmus has a blue color in its aqueous solution. It is hygroscopic, that is, it absorbs moisture if left exposed to air. It is used mainly for washing clothes. Sodium carbonate is used in the glass and paper industry and also in refining of petrol. Write down the reaction of sodium carbonate with sulfuric acid. Na2CO3 plus H2SO4 gives Na2SO4, that is sodium sulfate, plus H2O plus CO2. Some crystalline salts and their uses. Some substances in our daily use which contain water of crystallization are as follows. Alum, also known as potash alum, molecular formula Al2SO4 thrice dot 24H2O. Alum is used in the process of water purification. Because of the property of coagulation, the solid impurities in water come together, become heavy and settle to the bottom. As a result, the water above becomes clear. Alum is also used in the paper industry to shine paper. It is used in medicines and also to stop bleeding of wounds. Borax, molecular formula Na2B4O7 .10H2O. It is used in enamels and glazes. It is also used in the cosmetic industry to make shampoos, lotions and creams, and in laundry detergents to remove stains from clothes. Epsom salt, also known as magnesium sulfate, molecular formula MgSO4.7H2O. It is used as a body scrub. It is used to manufacture fertilizers and purgative medicines. Epsom salt, when added to water, can relieve muscle pain. Barium chloride BaCl2.2H2O. It is used in the paper and dye industry. It is used in wastewater treatment and purification of brine solution. Sodium sulfate, also known as Glauber's salt, molecular formula Na2SO4.10H2O. It is used in medicine as a laxative. It is also used in the dye industry. Blue vitriol, molecular formula CuSO4.4 5H2O. Blue vitriol is used in the blood test for diagnosing anemia. Blue vitriol and slaked lime is used in the Bordeaux mixture, which is used as a fungicide on fruits like grapes and musk melon. Soap. When oil or animal fat is boiled with an aqueous solution of sodium or potassium hydroxide, sodium or potassium salts of carboxylic acids, also known as fatty acids, are formed. These salts are called soap. When soap is mixed with hard water, calcium and magnesium salts of fatty acids are formed. These being water insoluble, they form a precipitate, and that is why lather is not formed. The difference between bathing soap and washing soap. In bathing soap, high-grade fats and oils are used as raw material. In washing soap, low-grade fats and oils are used. In bathing soap, usually potassium hydroxide is used in its preparation. They are soft and free from alkali content, thus it prevents injury to skin. In washing soap, sodium hydroxide is used in its preparation. Free alkali content helps in cleaning action. They are usually hard. In bathing soap, expensive perfumes are used. In washing soap, cheaper perfumes are used.